Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a new bead of silicone on the old gasifier. That should keep it sealed up nice and tight. It's very important we have absolute control over the oxygen going into the unit. Inconsistent or unpredictable oxygen administration can lead to multiple serious problems, ranging anywhere from the unit just not working right to dangerous fires or explosions. We don't want any of that, so we want her sealed up good. Because these devices can be dangerous, it's important to understand exactly what you're doing, because just not doing stupid things doesn't stop you from being stupid. It's understanding why those things are stupid in the first place. That's what stops stupidity. So what you need to know first is what you are doing is refining a flammable fuel. And in order for a flammable fuel to become inflamed, it needs oxygen, ignition, and the fuel itself. You can't always control ignition. You can get an ignition source from just about anywhere, any stray spark, but that fuel is useless without oxygen. So you don't want to mix the fuel and oxygen until it gets to where you plan on igniting it. A little boo-boo like this right here doesn't seem like much, but it can turn an entire lifetime into milliseconds real fast. We're going to want to close that up. If you're using one of these things for an internal combustion engine, the entire system's under vacuum. That's because it's using the vacuum of the engine to draw the fuel from its source all the way up to the point of ignition. That means if there's any leaks at all through the entire system, oxygen can leak in, and it would actually be safer to have fuel leak out instead. Now, if you're using a charge system for a heat source or a cook stove or something like that, you're going to have to run a pump, and that makes the system a little bit safer because part of the system will be under pressure and fuel would leak out before oxygen actually leaked in. So the goal is to get that pump as close to the fuel source as possible without having it so close that the heat damages the pump. You definitely already know this, but I have to say this for the haters who like to say, well, you should have warned me before they're injured by my awesomeness, but I am in fact the greatest welder in the entire universe. And as such, I feel inclined to give you guys some welding advice. My advice to you is give up. Just stop welding. I don't care if you've been doing it for 20 years. You're not as good as me. Stop embarrassing yourself. I'm going to patch this up now. There we are, all closed up. And if anybody ever told you that the key to being a great welder was being a mediocre grinder, that was a lucky guess. Our firebox is now in perfect working order. Everything's ready to go. Next video is a cooling system. And yes, we need a cooling system. I don't care what some unwashed hillbilly named Randy told you about copper line and a Briggs & Stratton. We're trying to run an automobile here, and a cooling system is required to meet the efficiency we need.